All right, today I want to talk about how you can be ostracized by being right, by speaking the truth, in a society that is thinking something that might not be true, right? I'm not saying what I'm speaking is 100% truth or always right, but this is the thing. I want to touch on this that when society or community that you're in collectively agrees on something, on a narrative, on something to be what everyone accepts, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be true or right, but what everyone accepts and you go against it or like you don't agree with it, you will be ostracized. You just they just won't like you, won't like to have you among each other, among themselves, right? So just simply for thinking differently, right? Having a different opinion on things, on something that everybody accepted. And there's many cases, there's many um like I don't know, ideas and ideologies and habits, traditions that people adopted that they just view as normal, right? And it, no one thinks about where it came from. It was just a part of their life since their childhood. It doesn't matter to them if someone indoctrinated them, if someone tricked them to view something as normal, right? They won't question that. Or I think they can't even recall. They don't remember who was it, why was it, or, they just don't think about where things originated from when it was in childhood because it can be difficult to recall your things from your childhood, right? You only remember the main the main source of it, right? But more often than not, where something originates from is more important than the thing itself, right? If it's not from a genuine source or intention, then you might be in trouble if you adopt something that it was not taught or brought to you with a good intention, right? And many people won't question that. And many people adopted something that they don't question for their whole lives, right? Because there's a lot of factors that make it difficult for people. One of them is that they don't have enough time to stop and think, right? To ruminate or just I don't know, reorganize their thoughts, right? Optimize their mindset to be sort of, I don't know, for it to make sense. Because what I see in people is that their minds are just chaotic and they just don't get the time to stop. So they are lost in this chaos. And they don't even know what to think and what they are thinking, whether it's, they are all over the place. But they don't have the time to stop and relax, right? So they just roll with the herd. It's as if the herd was always moving, running around in circles, right? So you don't have you don't have time to sit down and think whether the life you're living is right or good for you, right? Whether the thoughts you're having, whether the convictions you got make sense or not. Most people don't get themselves the time to make order in these things. And what happens is that there are literally people who want you to think things that are not true, things that are deceitful, right? Literally hire people, psychologists, and then perpetrate this deception through the things you consume every day, or the public consumes every day, right? If you know about Edward Bernays, who was son, I don't know, I don't remember, but he was like the father of propaganda, right? He propagandized so many bad things to the public just by understanding psychology, right? He convinced women to smoke cigarettes, that it's good for them and whatnot, and many other things. The government or the agencies or the companies hired him to promote their products, right? And when you understand psychology, you can exploit it, and that's what he did. But many people just don't take it seriously enough how your mind can be exploited, right? You gotta be careful about all these things that people overlook, how they influence you and your life. It may not seem like whatever you read, whatever you see, whatever you hear, that it's just some information that you take in, but it also influences you. Like when you hear, also hip hop and rap music, why do you think they or why do you think African Americans are so violent now, right? They were heavily influenced by hip hop and rap music. About like there was an era where they would rap about, I don't know, these nasty things like getting women, bitches, or like making money, or killing or whatnot, right? All these lyrics were not there by any coincidence or coincidence, but like it was on purpose, because rap doesn't have to be about all these stupid things, money, and then sleeping with women and being mean, evil, and whatnot. It doesn't have to be. You don't even have to cuss, but it's the things that you consume, and what you consume is not just food. It's also things that get into your mind, right? Through your senses, right? The main 5 senses, like smell, taste, sight, hearing, and touch. And there are other senses as well, which we are not being told about. But that's okay. Actually, it's not. But there are so many things that the ones who know and control society, they have these libraries, secret libraries, with ancient knowledge, a lot of knowledge, that they keep away from us. They don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to be powerful, because when you have an idea of things, how things are, suddenly you will know how to move around, right? You can use your environment to your advantage to achieve what you want. So they make you to not know what you want to achieve or what you should want, what you got to achieve. They keep you confused. And then they won't even give you resources to get an idea of what you should be wanting, right? They convince you that you should be chasing money, chasing materialistic things, chasing all, like, everything that is promoted is the wrong thing. And the things that I talk about, no one really puts significance to, are the actual things that matter. And then, when I, how do I put this? When I bring up a narrative that most people didn't hear of or, heard of, but just it's been ridiculed, that they view it as a joke, right? They will just, I don't know, go against me, attack me, laugh at me, and then insult me, and then attack me, because it goes against their programming, right? Just like in the movie The Matrix, where you got this simulation where Morpheus explains to Neo how everyone in the system is willing to attack you just to protect it, because they love it so much, they trust it so much, and it's their whole world, their whole life, right? So they view it as you threaten their world, their life, right? But you're just the system wants to convince you that the truth doesn't matter, that the people that don't value the truth, they will be better off, which is true for now, but I don't wanna ignore the truth, right? In a weird way, I wanna be loyal to the truth, because it has stayed by my side my whole life, right? And no one else did that for me. So I wanna be loyal to those who were loyal to me, right? That's my act of appreciation. But also, if someone is by your side your whole life, doesn't it make sense for you to want to have a good relationship with them? But I don't know, the truth is not treating me very well. The people who ignore it and value lies, delusion, deception are being treated much more nicely than a person who is devoted to the truth, right? That's why it's difficult to just, I don't know, to be ostracized for it and whatnot. But I just don't once you wake up, you cannot go back. I feel like, right? Or maybe you can, but I don't know. Like Cypher, just erase your memory and whatnot, get a good life. in the Matrix. But I once I woke up, I don't know why I value the truth so much. To me, it makes sense, logical sense, because there's nothing more firm than the truth itself, right? Truth is in everything. Everything holds truth about itself, right? So it's omnipresent. But I don't know, you know, a person who truly devotes themselves to the truth, they will suffer. They will suffer immensely. But I believe in the end that there's got to be something that makes it all worth it, right? I might be wrong, but you know, this life that people um I don't know, this mindset that people have, this life that people live in delusion, it's just not appealing to me. I just don't want to live like that. I would not be okay with myself because it's not, you know, it's not brave. It's not like honorable, right? And at the end of the day, I want to be a person that deserves respect. And respect is not something that you can force from people. Or like, maybe you can, but I don't know. I don't think you really can. Like, people will respect you out of fear and whatnot, but it's not respect from their own will, right? And and I think that kind of respect is the best one, the one that has value. But you gotta earn it, right? Um, but if you are telling people something, trying to make them better, and they don't see value in it, they will not respect it, because they don't understand it. If they don't understand it, they cannot value it. If they cannot value it, they cannot respect it. So they won't respect what you are bringing up to them. And also, they won't respect you for bringing up something they don't understand, and which something they view as harmful to them, right? So yeah, just because the majority of people collectively accepted something doesn't have to mean it's right. Doesn't have to mean it's true. You know, if something's true or fake, you know, or if something's a truth or a lie, that's something you just know. Not by and for some people it might be difficult to distinguish if you actually know something or if you are trying to convince yourself that something is true, right? A lot of people are delusional and, you know, believe their own delusion, their own lies, the lies that they keep telling themselves. They start to believe it. There's some quote that goes like this: if you keep on repeating something to people, even if it's not true, the fact that they keep hearing it over and over again, they will start to believe it, right? So it will become the truth for them. So that's just brainwashing. But I don't know. I feel like I was talking about something else initially. And I feel like truth, as I said, is omnipresent, and it's there for those who seek it, who actually are willing to go the extra mile to touch it, right? Just like the Michelangelo painting of God and Adam, or who was it? Like he had to stretch, like God was stretched like um all the way, right? But the dude, he was not, his hand was like, not all the way trying to reach God, but he was capable of touching him. It was just his choice if he was gonna touch him or not, right? So yeah, but there are people, and I think it's the majority of people who would not trade their place in society, in their community, just for the truth, right? They will not go against the mainstream narrative, the collective accepted whatever, because being lonely sucks. Being ostracized sucks. And yeah, when when I was at the point of absolute loneliness, it felt miserable and horrible. It felt, I don't know, it was wrecking my soul, and I would not wish this upon anybody, you know. Sometimes I get also lonely, but in your childhood, it's more amplified, Everything is more amplified in your childhood. So, but children, they should never feel abandoned, lonely, and alone. So yeah. If you don't want your child to suffer, to have it bad, then love them, right? Spend time with them and whatnot. Make sure they are not feeling lonely. Be there for them. And whenever I talk about something you might think is ridiculous, like that's your choice. I'll just tell you this, that I used to believe everything they tell you, right? That's just, you don't have to work for it. That's just what you adopt from society, from everyone, everywhere. What most people believe. But the things that go against this narrative, I did the research of it. Like, I wouldn't be telling it to you if I didn't take the responsibility of my words and the consequences of my words, right? But if it's hard for you to digest, then take some time, and you can do a research of your own. Don't trust a single word I say. Research for yourself. Make sure for yourself so that you know, right? But I like, you truly gotta be humble, you know, and be open to any possibility, right? Don't just disregard something just because it goes against the narrative that you believe right now, right? You gotta be open to things. If you want to learn, if you want to be better, and if you want to get to know the truth better, you truly gotta learn. But also, if you are too open-minded, then there's a lot of misinformation too. So you gotta be really firm with what you got, but also gotta make sure that what you got is correct. It's really, it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle for your mind, for your temple. And most people's temples are just conquered. Are conquered. And then they fight for the forces that conquered them, not realizing it, not realizing what they lost and what they are now protecting. Sort of a mind virus sometimes. But I think that not everyone can think for themselves, and that's not how it's supposed to be. It might be about 80% of people not thinking for themselves and 20% that do. And I think it's for the 20% to pave the way, to lead the other 80% towards a better life, better future, better everything, right? But the leaders, they don't get a chance these days, right? The people who get the chance to lead other people are just serving the agenda of the ones in control of everything. They don't even have to be good leaders. And they get to lead people as long as it's the direction what kind of direction? It might as well be just the direction towards the cliff, right? Because where we are heading as species is towards consumerism, stupidity, infertility. What else? Yeah, slavery, zero self-respect, misery, 7 deadly sins. Just the wrong path, man. And you will never be happy with yourself. You will never be fulfilled at the end of the day. But at least you lived the life that's comfortable in this system that robbed you of your honor and dignity. But at least you had a comfy life, right? But to me, honor and dignity are just something you don't give up ever. You just, I don't know why. And it's not visible, right? I mean, it can be if you look at the clues around it. You can have an idea of what it is, but people don't value this. People don't value this these days. But this video has been so long. I went on a tangent, like really, really long. But yeah, you will be ostracized if you go against the mainstream narrative, against the collective nuance. You know, some people even get jailed. So I even touched on if it's worth it. Yeah, it's either or. It's your choice. Want to have place in society? Then don't talk about don't go against what everyone accepts. Well, some of these things are good. Like you shouldn't be murdering, you shouldn't be stealing, you shouldn't be, I don't know, loitering, or whatever the word is, littering. I mean, whatever. But yeah, I think I'm going in circles. So yeah, this is the video. Sorry for the long video. But yeah, thanks for listening.